video, we are going to do two examples of how to factor using the AC method. Here on the left, you will see the 4 steps you're going to use to factor using the AC method. Step 1 is to find two numbers that multiply to AC and add to B. Now, A, B, and C are the 3 numbers you see. A is in front of x squared, B is in front of x, and C is the last number that is a constant. In this case, AC would be 6 times 8, because A is 6 and C is 8. 6 times 8 is 48. So I need to find two numbers that multiply to 48 and add to negative 19. 48 is 2 times 24, 3 times 16, 4 times 12, and 6 times 8. If you don't know, you just take a calculator and divide by 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, in order so you make sure you don't miss one. Now, looking at my list, I need a pair that also adds to negative 19. While I don't see something that adds to negative 19, 3 plus 16 is 19. To make it negative 19, I simply make them both negative. That still multiplies to 48 because 2 negatives multiply to a positive. Step 2 is to split up the middle term using those two numbers. So instead of negative 19x, I'm going to write negative 3x and negative 16x. Notice that the first term and the last term stay exactly the same. You're just splitting up the middle. Step 3 is to factor the greatest common factor of the first two and the last two terms. So I usually draw a line down the middle like this, and then I look at the first two. 6 and 3 can both be divided by 3, and they both have an x. So 3x is my greatest common factor. Then, in parentheses, I simply divide them both by 3x. 6x squared divided by 3x is 2x. Negative 3x divided by 3x is negative 1. On the right side, be a little careful because if your first term is negative, your GCF is negative. So the biggest number I can divide 16 and 8 by is 8, but because that 16 in front is negative, I'm going to make my greatest common factor negative 8. Then inside the parentheses, negative 16x divided by negative 8 is 2x. 8 divided by negative 8 is negative 1. Now you might notice that both of those sets of parentheses match. Step 4 is to factor out the greatest common factor of the entire expression. That is the 2x minus 1 because it's on both terms. Then what's left is if I take those two away, I have 3x minus 8. And that is the factored form of 6x squared minus 19x plus 8. Let's try one more. On this one, A is 3, C is negative 12. So AC is 3 times negative 12, or negative 36, which is 2 times negative 18, 3 times negative 12, 4 times negative 9, and 6 times negative 6. I need to pick a pair that adds to 5 because B is 5 in the middle. 4 plus negative 9 is negative 5, but kind of like the last one, I need to fix that by making the 4 negative instead of the 9. That adds to 5 now, negative 4, positive 9. If the number in the middle is positive, you want the bigger number to be the positive. If the number in the middle is negative, you want the bigger number to be negative. Then I split up the middle term, negative 4x and 9x, because those are my two numbers. And then I split it down the middle. The only thing I can divide 3x squared and negative 4x by is just 1x. Nothing goes into 3 and 4. That will leave me with 3x minus 4, because I'm basically just taking away a power of x. On the other side, 9 and negative 12 can both be divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. Then 3x minus 4 is my GCF, so I put that out front. And if I cross those out, I have x plus 3 left. One last thing before I end the video. If you need a little bit of help with signs, here is a pattern. If A, B, and C are all positive, both of your parentheses will be positive. If C is positive, but the number in the middle, B, is negative, they'll both be negative. And if C is negative, then you'll have one positive and one negative, and the bigger one will always match the sign of the middle number. So if b is positive, the bigger number is positive. If b is negative, the bigger number is negative.